Today we're going to talk about how to pivot properly when challenges kick in, when you have to make those decisions quickly, right? My name is Michael Barive, and I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with zero money invested, and now we have a sales and marketing company that's growing like crazy from coast to coast like butter on toast. So pivot, right? One thing that I learned about pivoting, it's extremely vital to understand. Sometimes in business, as a matter of fact, always in the business, you got to understand that change is inevitable. You cannot run away from change. Change is always going to be part of business. If you do not accept the word change in your life or change in your business, guess what? You are going to have to change no matter what. It's going to force it on yourself. It's either you understand it and accept it and work with it, or you want to fucking close your ears, close your eyes, be like an ostrich and dig your head in the freaking sand and kind of make pretend that nothing ever is going to happen to you. But guess what? The storm is coming. Change is about to happen. I don't care what it is. The economy is changing. The world is changing. People are changing. Things are changing. You are changing. Everything is changing. Nothing is staying constant. It's either changing for the positive or it's changing for the negative. The decision that you have to make is which direction you want it to go. So when change is happening, you have to understand you have to be ready to pivot. I always have this mindset in business that things are not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. Even if I get married, it won't last forever. Even if I have children, it won't last forever. My life is not forever. Nothing is forever. The only thing that's forever is God's existence. Everything else, it has an end date, has a start date, has an end date, has a start date and an expiration date. Everything. Nothing stays forever. It can last for thousands of years, hundreds of years, tens of years, but nothing lasts forever. So the question is this. Why don't you prepare yourself mentally for that change to kick in? And a lot of people are afraid of preparing for the change. So everything I do in business, like for example, I've had to change so many products, so many services in the past 8+ years that we had this company, right? Specifically this business that I have, right? Every single time that something great is going in my life, I always look at, okay, how can this go down? How can we change it? What's going to happen if the market shifts? What happens if the economy goes to shit? What happens if the Federal Reserve changes the rates? What happens if this? And I always look for ways. As a CEO, you have to be ready to pivot. You have to be ready to look for the worst case scenarios. And I always do this. I always look at best case, worst case. And I'm not saying I live in the worst case, but I prepare for the worst case. So when the worst case happens, I'm fucking ready. I'll give you guys an example. Last week, actually, a few days ago, I had a phone call of some bad news that happened in the business. I wasn't shocked. I knew that shit was going to happen months ago. So guess what I did? Weeks ago, I prepared for it. Months ago, I prepared for it. So when that news kicked in, I'm like, all right, guys, we're ready to switch over to this thing. Let's change this product. Let's change this service. Let's change this product. Let's change this, software. I knew it was happening. I saw it coming. I was pivoting. Sometimes you have change that comes out of nowhere. That happens. How fast do you pivot? Do you go into panic mode? Do you go into chaotic mode? Or do you go into strategy mode? Right? And say, okay, let's create the strategy. By the way, that's why I love playing chess. I play chess every other day. I go on my app, playchess.com. You want to play with me? Let me know. DM me on Instagram. We'll play together. Okay, I love playing chess. Why? Because it makes you think. It makes you think about, okay, your moves and also the opponent's moves. That's why I love it. Matter of fact, I should make a video about why chess is amazing for being successful in business. Because I think chess players definitely are strategic as shit. And they can be amazing business owners. So I learned a long time ago, you got to get ready at pivoting. So when you're looking at a chess match, you don't know what the opponent's going to do, but you're prepared for their worst moves. You're prepared for their best moves. You're prepared for the attacks. You're always looking at, okay, what can happen? Maybe he'll do this. Maybe he won't see it. Maybe he will. If he does see it, I got to do this. And you're always pivoting. You're always pivoting. Shit hits the fan, you got to pivot. So don't be afraid of change. Accept it and embrace it and understand it's part of business. And nothing's going to stay constant. And that's a good thing because sometimes you don't want it to be, sometimes you don't want the season of winter to kick in forever. Sometimes you need a winter season. Sometimes you need a spring season. Sometimes you need a summer season and a harvest season. And sometimes you need a fall season, right? So you got to be prepared and change appropriately and learn how to pivot. As a CEO, as an entrepreneur, as an owner, as a boss, you got to get good as a leader. You got to get really good at pivoting the right way. When I hear bad news, I give an example. When we had this bad news come up a couple days ago, right? One of my managers was basically telling me, yo, Mike, I don't know if I can convince the guys that it's going to be good. I'm like, dude, let me fucking do the convincing. I was like, I want to do the fucking convincing. It's not that hard. I said, hey, guys, who wants to know the bad news and the good news? Which one you want to know first? Everyone's like, bad news. I'm like, great. There is no fucking bad news. Because the bad news you thought it was bad news is actually great news. Because we have a pivot. I'm always ready to pivot. That's the mindset. You got to learn how to pivot. If you pivot properly, nothing is ever bad news. Never. Everything is working for you, for your goals and your dreams. That's the way I look at it. But you got to get good at pivoting. You got to get good at accepting change. So what I want you to do is focus on this. Number one, what are 3 things you can focus on right now in your business that you can be prepared for that might change? What are 3 things that can change in your business, on your team? If you're a sales leader, if you're a manager, if you're a boss, if you're an owner, whatever it may be, what are 3 things that can happen right now in your business that can fucking put you out of business? Next, number 2, I want you to write down 3 things you can implement right now to prepare for those pivots, to prepare for those changes. And I want you to write it down and look at that. And then if you don't have a plan and you don't have a strategy, work on it. Work on it. Do you know that every single public company has a succession plan available? So if the CEO gets killed or dies, there's another CEO that can step in right away. They always have a succession plan. Why? Because they want the company to last longer than the actual human being. Do you have that in place? So do that for yourself for now and learn how to pivot properly. When you learn how to pivot properly and accept change, oh my God, you will never be stressed out because you're not going to worry because you already know change is inevitable. It's part of the process, part of the game, it's part of making money, it's part of business. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet liked this video or shared this video, do me a favor, do that so. Okay, and we'll see you guys in the next video.